Thank you.
I have my own blanket. There are blankets in the back. There are blankets in the back.
I'm trying to decide what key I want to do this Let's try that all together.
Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
I feel like we can make like some sort of funny joke about like who's from Los Angeles and who's not from Los Angeles based on who's wearing a blanket. Because it's probably
Got
like 60.
parkas
It's probably
on.
66 degrees. Like it's probably fine, but it's definitely more comfortable with the blanket. But oh, 68. Okay, even better. Look at that. It's windy. It's windy.
And I lived in Moscow.
Yeah, totally. Right. Right, that's right.
It's 68.
It's 68. It's good. We have confirmation. Shabbat shalom, everyone. Shabbat shalom to folks who are with us via the live stream. We'll wish you a Shabbat shalom.
Shabbat shalom.
Hello, Mom and Dad. Abraham Joshua Heschel, the a prolific 20th century theologian who's cited often on our Bima, often calls Shabbat a palace in time. In part because he believes that Shabbat invites us to step outside our ordinary flow of whatever it is we do during the week. Instead, we enter into a special day of sacred rest. We have a moment where we can pause, where we can reconnect with what truly matters. It could be family or friends or community or rest or silence. By stopping whatever it is we normally do during the week, we also acknowledge that the world as it is right now, it still continues to move, even though we can stop. And I think there's holiness in that, is that the world continues to move, even though we can stop for a day. One of the most sacred acts on Shabbat is connection. And so with that, before we move into our Hine Matov, what I want to invite us to do is I'll invite us to turn to someone nearby. Maybe we know them, maybe we don't. We'll introduce ourselves and wish them a Shabbat Shalom, and then we'll come back together in song.
My meditation is like a few minutes today. It's a little longer of a reading, but I think it's important, especially based on what you just said.
Page 10.
Hine ma tovu manayim, shevet achim gam yachad. 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 Let's all do that together. Invite you to, if you feel comfortable, to close your eyes, to just be in this moment, to allow yourself to just stop, to pause, to do things on Shabbat that you wouldn't normally do, or vice versa. Don't do the things that you would normally do on a normal day. Go on. Wake up early. Make the same cup of black coffee. Put a piece of bread in the toaster. Toast it until it's golden browned and not a second earlier. I know. It's hard to wait, but wait. It's almost ready. Smear Land O'Lakes butter across the top and don't be stingy. Life is too short to be stingy. Don't worry about your phone. You don't need your phone to eat breakfast. You don't need your phone to thank God. You don't need your phone to sip coffee. You don't need your phone to enjoy the last bite of toast soaked in butter. It's a perfect bite. Say amen. Touch your toes. Or try. Or tell them you'll get there in heaven. Go for a walk. If you want, the same walk you did yesterday. As you go, walk a little slower. Wave to children. Smile. Always remember to smile. Don't be creepy, but smile. Look up at the sky. It's still there. It was there yesterday, too. Did you see it? God made the sky. God made the clouds. God made the sun. God made the wind. God made the birds. You can wave to them, too. You can feed them, too. Do you see the trees? You don't need your phone to look at trees. They're changing and changing and changing just like you, becoming season after season, growing through the storms, swaying in the sunlight. Look at the trees and remember how they came to be, like your faith. It all started with a little seed, and how beautiful it is to believe. You don't need your phone to believe. Do the day. As you go, don't forget the grace that got you here. Remember love. Remember that phone call you have at 3 o'clock. You do need your phone for that call. But remember that thing you need to do, and remember that the thing you need to do will not change your worth. Remember to take the chicken out of the freezer so it can thaw. Cannot have chicken tacos for dinner with frozen chicken. Remember to drink water. Remember hope. Remember faithfulness. Remember there's always something and someone to celebrate. You're also someone worth celebrating. But this life isn't about you. I know it can be confusing. Life is confusing, but it's also worth celebrating. Remember peace. Remember self-control. Remember to call. Tell them you love them. Tell them you miss them. Remember kindness, goodness, mow the lawn, pull the weeds, plant the seeds. Remember joy. Remember patience. Look up at the sky. It's still there. Remember the trees. Remember all of this is worth staying for. And at night, step outside. Watch the sun fall into the silence of the horizon. A daily reminder that we're made to rest and rise and repeat. Feel the light of the setting sun dance on your skin. You're alive. You're known. You're loved. I hate it when people remind me that I'm known and loved. You're known. You're loved. The stars shine above you, for you. You're seen. You're significant. From your head to the toes you cannot touch. From the inside where the coffee mixes with golden brown toast to your outside where the light hugs your skin like an old friend saying hello. From your waking to your sleeping. From your wondering to your realizing. From your season to season. From your first breath to your last. You are significant. And you don't need your phone to be significant. Go on. We continue on our supplemental sheets, top left-hand side of the page. Let's sing together Tov Lehodot.
we'll turn in our Sidurim to page 20 and 21 for Lecha Dodi. We'll sing together verses 1, 2, 5, and 9. And upon arriving at verse 9, we'll rise in all the ways that we're able, and we'll face the entrance to our outdoor chapel to officially greet Shabbat. Page 20. Standing, and we'll turn in our Sidurim to page 28 for our Baruch.
Ya la 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 la. Barechu et Adonai HaMevorach. Baruch Adonai HaMevorach le'olam va'ed. Le'olam va'ed. Ya la 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 la. 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 Ya la la. Ya la 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 la.
At the top of page 31. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Your wisdom sets the way on which time and season glide. Your breath guides the sail of the stars. Creator of the tide, of time and light, you guide the current of day into night. As heaven spans to infinity, you set its course for eternity. Praise to you, Adonai, our God, from whom the evening flows. Baruch atah Adonai Hama'ariv Aravim. We'll take maybe 5 or 10 seconds just to center ourselves before we sing the Shema on page 34.
Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. 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 Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto le'olam va'ed. Baruch Shem Kevod Malchuto le'olam va'ed. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. Shema Yisrael, Adonai Eloheinu, Adonai Echad. ואהבת את אדוני אלוהיך בכל לבבך ובכל נפשך ובכל מאודיך. והיו הדברים האלה אשר אנוכי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשוכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, והיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובשעריך, למען תזכרו ועשיתם את כל מצוותיי והייתם קדושים לאלוהיכם. אני אדוני אלוהיכם אשר הוצאתי אתכם מארץ מצרים להיות לכם לאלוהים. אני אדוני אלוהיכם, אדוני אלוהיכם, אמת.
I'll invite us to turn to page 40, just in anticipation of our Mi Chamocha prayer. And one insight that I had this week about this prayer is that it's this profound realization of gratitude for the Israelites, because what's happening for them at this moment is they are freshly freed from slavery and they are standing at the shores of the sea. And with the waters of the Red Sea, it's roaring behind them. They are looking in awe. They're looking in awe at what's ahead. And all of a sudden, they realize that there is a path before them that has been created. And what they sing is they sing these words. They sing Mi Chamocha. And the words, this is where the insight has led me to. The words Mi Chamocha Ba'elim Adonai, Mi Chamocha Nadar Bakodesh is, who is like you of all the other gods out there? There's no one like you of all the other gods that are out there. And it reminds me that no matter how dire the circumstances may be, there's always a possibility for seas splitting. There's always a possibility for redemption. There's always a possibility for hope. Who is like you? Mi chamocha ba'elim Adonai, mi kamocha nadar bakodesh. We'll hope that triumph and liberation come our way soon. Page 40. We'll turn in our supplements. The bottom right prayer, Hashkivenu, our prayer of shelter and wholeness and warmth and blankets. For Hashkivenu, we'll have the blanket of our voices together.
Hashkivenu Adonai Eloheinu L'shalom, L'shalom. Ufros aleinu sukkah shlomeh. just got wrong from right. Amen.
Amen. Our Amidah can be found on page 46. It's our standing prayer, so we'll do these prayers standing in all the ways that we're able. We'll recite the first few prayers together as a community, and then the remainder of them will be silent. And whenever you are finished with silent prayer, I'll invite you to be seated. Page 46.
Adonai sefatai tiftach ufi yagid tehilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu ve'Elohei Avotenu ve'imotenu. Elohei Avraham, Elohei Yitzchak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Sarah, Elohei Rivka, Elohei Rachel, Elohei Leah, Ha'el Hagadol, Hagibor v'Hanora, El Elyon, Gomel Chasadim Tovim, Vekonei Hakol. וזוכר חסדי אבות ואימהות, ומביא גאולה לבני בניהם, למען שמו באהבה. מלך עוזר ומושיע ומגן, ברוך אתה אדוני, מגן אברהם ועזרת שרה. אתה גיבור לעולם אדוני, מחיי הכל אתה רב להושיע, מוריד הטל. מכלכל חיים בחסד, מחיי הכל ברחמים רבים. סומך נופלים ורופא חולים, ומתיר אסורים. ומקיים אמונתו לשני עפר. מי כמוך בעל גבורות ומי דומה לך, מלך ממית ומחיה ומצמיח ישועה, ונאמן אתה להחיות הכל. ברוך אתה אדוני מחיי הכל. אתה קדוש ושמך קדוש, וקדושים בכל יום יהללוך סלה. ברוך אתה אדוני האל הקדוש. והגיון ליבי יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי יהיו לרצון אמרי פי והגיון ליבי לפניך אדוני צורי אדוני צורי וגואלי אדוני צורי אדוני צורי וגואלי Go inside your heart, just be. Go inside your heart and see what it wants, what it needs, what it yearns when you breathe. Go inside your heart and see. May the words of my mouth and the meditations of my heart be kind, be true. May they be acceptable to you. Oh, my rock, and my Redeemer.
Cantor Hess and I chose that song together. Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah.
Thank you.
I can do that.
Amazing. Cantor Hess and I chose that song together because I was thinking about what to teach this evening, and there's a line in that song that has always that's always struck me as powerful. Go inside your heart and see. And I think there's so much for us to see when we go inside of our hearts. And lo and behold, this week's Parsha is Parshat Re'eh. For the Hebraists among us, Re'eh means see, or look at, or view. And today what I want to teach about is I want to invite us to really appreciate and see what's going on within our own selves, so that we can, thank you, so that we can best understand how to be the best people that we can possibly be. For those of you who are at home, you did not see that there are beautiful blue sheets of paper that were passed around, but we have a new technology at Leobeck Temple where you can find the source sheet on the internet, which is wild. Get your fingers ready to type www.leobecktemple.org/Shabbat sermon. www.leobecktemple.org/Shabbat sermon. Thank you, Ariana, and thank you, Cantor Haas. Now we're ready to study some Torah. The Torah portion begins, that first line, "See, I place before you today blessing and curse. most Torah portions, not most, but many Torah portions, they are named after the first word or one of the first words in the parsha. And the first word in this parsha is re'eh. It's that first Hebrew word there, that resh, aleph, hey. And the verse cuts off. That's verse 11:26. But 27 and 28, if I can paraphrase, after it says, "See, I place before you today blessing and curse," this is God telling the Israelites that there are going to be blessings and curses in their lives. What happens next is God says, there will be blessings if you follow all the commandments that I lay before you, if you do them all in the ways that I outline them, etc., etc. And there will be curses if you fail to follow my commandments in the ways that I lay out before you, or if you follow other gods, or if you maybe go off the path. All of these ways are the ways that that you are not going to achieve blessings, and you are going to actually find curses in your life. There are actually some dedicated Minyanites here. Does this ring a bell? Does this sound familiar? Where does this sound familiar? Okay, so Glenn says Richard Levy knows where this came from. Rabbi Richard Levy, Zecher Tzadik Livracha, a righteous rabbi amongst us, amongst our community, who was an associate rabbi here at Leobek Temple probably 50 years ago or more. He wrote this beautiful adaptation of these verses that we read in between the two paragraphs of the Ve'ahavta that we read tonight on Friday night, but there's actually an insert of the Ve'ahavta that we skip tonight. And this is the insert. These verses, these refer to the insert that that we read at the Minyan. It's essentially an adaptation of blessings are going to come to you if we do good things in the world, and curses are going to come to you if you run away from those things. My question for us, I have some questions for us, but one of my questions for us is how does this theology strike you? How do you find this theology of blessings if you do good things in the world and curses if you don't do good things in the world? Glenn says simplistic. Yeah, Beverly. Okay. Beverly says that's the way it should work, but it doesn't always work that way. Yeah, Audrey.
But in life, blessings come and bad things come.
Uh-huh.
And whether we follow any of the commandments.
Yeah, exactly. Audrey says, no matter what happens in life, there are going to be blessings that come our way, and there are going to be curses that come our way, regardless of whether we follow the commandments. Sure. Yeah, Paul.
It's a hard practice to follow.
Yeah, it's difficult. It's difficult to follow the commandments that God says will bring blessings your way. Sure. Other responses. Yeah, Susie.
It helps us be conscious.
Susie says it helps us be conscious. I'm going to ask you, if I may, can I ask you to expand on that? Like, what do you mean by it helps us be conscious?
We have choice. And we question ourselves. Which path should we take? And I maintain I'm capable of all paths.
Yeah.
That upsets a lot of my friends,
Yeah.
political friends.
It's as if you read ahead in the source sheet, because what you're referring to is there are so many different paths of life that we can take, and when we acknowledge that there are both blessings and curses that could befall us, we need to be ever more conscious of the paths that we do take. Beautiful. There is a midrash that is in front of us. A midrash is on one foot. A midrash is when the rabbis try to fill in gaps of the text with funny stories and anecdotes and homilies. I did it on one foot. That's great. For further explication of what a midrash is, find me at the Oneg after the service. But this midrash in particular, I will not explain on one foot because I think it's interesting and I think it's important to learn. It's called, do you see the top bold text on the left? It's called Sifrei Devarim. Sifrei Devarim in Hebrew means, Sifrei means books, And Devarim is the Hebrew translation of the Greek translation for Deuteronomy. So it's books of Deuteronomy, and it actually refers to a series of midrashim, about the book of Deuteronomy. So the rabbis read the book of Deuteronomy, and they realize that there are problems or there are questions, and they don't understand. And by asking these questions, they try to provide some answers, and they add some interesting stories. Actually, fun fact: most of Sifrei Devarim are sort of exegetical or like interpretations of the law, as opposed to stories. This is actually one of the minority of stories that are found in Sifrei Devarim, and I think it's really relevant to what we're going to be talking about today. So it starts. This is at the top of the page. See, I place before you today blessing and curse. We talked about that. Lest the people of Israel say, since the Holy Blessed One has set before us two ways, the way of life and the way of death. We can choose whichever we wish. It is therefore written, and you shall choose the life. But as Susie said, that's not true, right? We can't choose the way of life. We can't choose the way of blessing. As many of you said, sometimes blessings happen, sometimes curses happen. We can't choose. A parable. The Midrash loves parables. A parable. A person is sitting at the crossroads with two paths stretching before them. One whose beginning is level and whose end is thorns. And one whose beginning is thorns and whose end is level. They apprise the passersby. This path over here, this path whose beginning you see to be level, for 2 or 3 steps you will walk on level ground, and in the end on thorns. And this path over here, whose beginning you see to be thorny, for 2 or 3 steps you will walk in the thorns, and in the end you will walk on level ground. How do the rabbis use this story to address the verse in Torah that's mentioned earlier? How do the rabbis use this story? Or even a simpler question, why do you think the rabbis need a story here? Why do we think the rabbis need a story here?
They don't lead to homes where you expect them to go.
Yeah.
They can be upended.
Beautiful. The paths that we may take in life are not straight, and they may not go where we perhaps expect them to go. They could be upended. Something could happen. It doesn't say that in the Torah verse. So they're adding some extra stuff to help us understand that. Good. Any other responses? Good. Good. Stories are relatable. Sometimes having a verse of Torah, see, before you I place blessing and curse. Sometimes it's actually more relatable to tell a parable about 2 people who are walking down roads and the roads are different. Good. Any other responses? Yeah.
Well, I mean, it struck me as like the roads are the same.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
Yeah.
I think it's like a concept because of like the equality of all paths.
Uh-huh.
You know,
Mhm.
accepting that kind of divinity.
Right.
Like, with an all-powerful God, all is equal.
Right. Like the rabbis are saying here, like whether you choose path A or path B, stuff's going to happen to you. Some of it's going to be good and some of it's going to be challenging. But whichever you choose, it's going to happen to you. Good. Yeah.
I was just going to say that when you're looking at 2 paths, you only see a small part of that path.
Yeah.
And what we don't know, what we don't see is that sometimes those paths converge,
Uh-huh.
and maybe that path will become one path.
Uh-huh.
And the idea that, we are going to have many of these paths throughout our lives, right? Whether it's thorny or level, or level or thorny,
Mhm.
it's going to happen no matter what. And that order almost doesn't matter.
Right. It's going to happen. It's going to happen no matter what. Robin, I see you, Robin. It's going to happen no matter what. And I especially like what you said at the beginning is you can't see the end of the path when you're at the beginning of the path. I wonder if the rabbis are saying something about that here. Is like, by the way, like you might see some thorniness here, and you might see some level ground here, but actually at the end, they're going to be different. There are a number of responses. I want to go to Robin, and then I saw Paul, and then Glenn, and then we're going to move on.
Yeah, I also wonder if they're saying, and by the way, what's true for you is true for everybody else.
Yeah.
So just because it seems like you're on level and they're on thorns, it doesn't mean you're a good person and they're a
Right.
bad person.
It's like that level of equality that Nate was saying. Is that like we all have the potential to be on the same level,
Right,
and don't judge other people. Good. Thanks. Yeah.
Well, the blessing and the curse is a little bit awesome. But I think the Midrash says, think carefully. Think very carefully. Because it's not obvious.
Yeah. The Torah text might make it feel obvious, but the Midrash is saying it's not. Good. Glenn, and then we're going to move on to the next text.
I'm struck by the fact that in the two paths, it only talks about the first 2 or 3 steps.
Yeah.
And then it says, and in the end. So if you focus on that part of it, it's saying if you do the hard work at the beginning, then the rest will be smooth. But if you want to try to cruise at the beginning, then it may turn out to be a lot harder later. So do the hard work,
Yeah.
and then things will be easier later.
I like that as a metaphor for like time or energy or effort or resources that we put into ourselves or our work or our activities. It bears fruit later. Good. The last text that I want to close with this evening, it's at the bottom of the page. It's called the Kli Yakar. The Kli Yakar is we'll call it a popular biblical commentary. I don't know how popular it is amongst the Leo Beck Temple crowd because, it's popular for me, but it's not popular for everyone. But it is it's a commentary that's written by Rabbi Shlomo Lunshitz, who lived in the kind of mid 16th century into the early 17th century. And he's amazing. And I really want to introduce you to him. He is known by the moniker Kli Yakar. So not only is this the name of the work, this is the name of the commentary that he's written. The commentary was so popular at the time that people then started referring to him as the Kli Yakar. So does that make sense? He is the Kli Yakar and his work is the Kli Yakar. What does Kli Yakar mean? Good question. Kli Yakar means, Kli or clay means a vessel or something to contain something. A precious vessel. It's a precious vessel. And the commentary is called Kli Yakar, a precious vessel, because it's thought to kind of mix traditional Torah commentary from like the medieval era with kind of like mystical Kabbalistic traditions too, with some like ethical spiritual teachings as well. I particularly enjoy reading Kli Yakar when I want to read like a traditional commentary of the text, but also kind of mine a little bit of spirituality in it too. That said, this is what I want to leave us with this evening. The Kli Yakar comments on the exact same verse. So we can read, "See, I place before you today blessing and curse." It's referring to that same verse in Torah. What then the Kli Yakar says is, "See" is singular. The word for "see" is singular. So see you, look. Like, look, this is meant for you. This is meant for each one of you. This is meant for each one of us. But the words before you is plural. So see, I place before you today blessing and curse. This is what our sages teach us. A person must always view things as if the entire world is half righteous and half wicked. If they perform a single mitzvah, they tip themselves and the entire world to the side of merit, to the side of goodness. Therefore, Moses spoke to every individual, see. That's why see is singular. that everyone should see that every action affects everyone. This is what I want to leave us with tonight on this Shabbat, is when we pay attention to the little things, the little things that might not even be mitzvot in our tradition. Any sort of action or word or set of words that we use or impart onto people in our family or our circle of friends or members of our community that can help tip our world toward goodness and merit and love, that's what's going to turn the entire world. Shabbat Shalom.
One of those blessings, of the abundant blessings that we are told to give to others, is that of our Misha Berach, the ability to extend healing to those in our lives who need it, whether it's for body, for mind, or for spirit. And so if you're thinking of someone today, we invite you to share their names out loud with us so that we can take them into our hearts and link them together. I'll start over here.
My niece Naama Pelofana, all the current and former Chatafim, kidnapped hostages, and their families, and all the Chayalim and Chayalot, the soldiers serving in the IDF.
Brenda Joy Jacobs.
Yeah. Thank you. We'll take all of those names into our hearts and we'll join together in our Misha Berach. You can find those words in the middle of page 253.
Amen. Our Aleinu can be found on page 282. In all the ways that we're able, will rise.
עלינו לשבח לאדון הכל, לתת גדולה ליוצר בראשית, שלא עשנו כגויי הארצות, ולא שמנו כמשפחות האדמה, שלא שם חלקנו כהם, וגורלנו ככל המונם. ואנחנו קוראים ומשתחווים ומודים לפני מלך מלכי המלכים הקדוש ברוך הוא. Page 287. ונאמר והיה אדוני למלך על כל הארץ ביום ההוא ביום ההוא יהיה אדוני אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד ושמו אחד.
Words to prepare for Mourner's Kaddish can be found at the bottom of page 291. There are stars up above, so far away we only see their light long, long after the star itself is gone. And so it is with people that we loved. Their memories keep shining ever brightly, though their time with us is done. But the stars that light up the darkest night, these are the lights that guide us. As we live our days, these are the ways we remember. As we recite Kaddish Yatom this evening, we especially remember Stephen Albright, John Armour, Mark Elliott Becker, Elizabeth Bialco, Martin Bausel, Claire Bisel, Lillian Chermak, Belle Vogel da Costa, Lillian Davidson, Josephine Diamond, Herman Duboff, Barnett H. Gary, Norma Ruth Gee, Susan R. Gerson, Hal Glucksman, Lillian Goldwasser, Harold Jacobs, Lee Kalsman, Terry Karp, Walter Keene, Daniel Lautman, George Levy, Abraham Lipkin, Isidore Middleman, William Aulick, Ralph Perlman, Emil M. Ravden, Barbara Satnick, Gloria Berkson Schall, Benjamin Siegel, Elizabeth Snyder, Judith Steele, Irving Stone, Daniel Trebish, Lucy Keen van Elgort, Joanne Widzer, Renee Winkler. If there are others whom you are holding on this Shabbat, or if I mispronounced the name of your loved one, I'll invite you to rise and share their names with us as a community. Mourner's Kaddish can be found on page 294. I'll invite us to rise as we're able. Yitgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabbah. Ba'alma divra chiruteh v'amlich malchuteh. B'chayechon u'v'yomechon u'v'chayei dechol Beit Yisrael. Ba'agala u'v'zman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yeh shmei Rabbah mevarach le'alam ul'almei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitpa'ar v'yitromam v'yitnaseh v'yitadar v'yit'aleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha brichu. La'ila min kol birchata v'shirata. Tushbechata v'nehemata. Da'amiran ba'alma v'imru. Amen. Yehi Shlama Rabba Min Shmaya, V'Hayim Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael V'Imru Amen. Oseh Shalom Bimromav, Hu Ya'aseh Shalom Aleinu Ve'al Kol Yisrael Ve'al Kol Yoshvei Tevel V'Imru Amen. May the Holy One of Blessing, who creates harmony on high, bring harmony to this realm as well. We'll say together, Amen.
Say shalom bimroma, say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, amen. Oh, say shalom bimroma, say shalom aleinu, ve'al kol Yisrael, ve'al kol yoshvei tevel, ve'imru, amen. Ve'imru,
Shabbat Shalom.
Shabbat Shalom.